Coming into the first round of the Pacifica Cup Series here at Canberra, a couple of noteworthy items such as the cars of Mad Max Goose and Hogan Dundee, Jeremy Clovis, and Sergeant Robert Kaplan. These cars did not participate in any preseason testing. Now, especially the Jeremy Clovis car haven't been particularly fast this week, and Robert Kaplan, Sergeant Robert Kaplan, former United States Marine who's from Australia, it hasn't been too quick either. Hogan Dundee and Mad Max Goose have been towards the back as well, but they have actually seen some speed. Are up there as well, or back there as well, but none of these cars have seen any testing, so they aren't expected to be on the pace right away this season. On the contrary, some cars that are setting the bar very high are the Ossport Brigade, and the Ossport cars are very, very fast, way quicker than the field. And on a super speedway like this, you need engine power, and they've sure got it because Riley Suzuka only edged them out for the pole by a very small margins. So very, very controversial these off-sport cars are, and there are a question to the legality of them. There is question of the legality of the Inglesby flashbacks that they are running. The final note is the track itself here at Canberra, the recently built Canberra Speedway. This track, unlike most super speedways in the world, this is kind of like the Kildare Park Thunderdome, Charlotte Motor Speedway in the United States, and the Texas Motor Speedway in the United States, in which it has a dog leg for the front stretch. With that being said, the pack has been spread out. Unlike most super speedways where you're in one large pack, the dog leg here spreads out the packs because cars have been sliding around on them all weekend, which has caused some very interesting situations. So instead of seeing one large 15-car pack, we could see maybe a 4-car pack, then another 4-car pack, etc. Many small packs. Anyway, on to the race. And the field gets ready to take the green flag in the first Pacifica Cup Series race of the 2012-2013 season. Green flag is in the air. Riley Suzuka got a crummy start, and Pete Sampson got a good start on the outside as pole sitter Mark Elias takes an early lead with his teammate right behind him, Tom McCormick. Good start for both of them, but here they go through turns 1 and 2. The Ossport cars take an early lead. Charlotte Boardman is running fourth, got a good start. Her teammate didn't take the start. We'll get to that in a minute. But Max Goose here, one of the newbie drivers. Oh, Kaplan slowed up. Sergeant Robert Kaplan slowed up. And oh, here we go. Raymond Hughes hit him, and we got a caution. Lap 2. Start of lap 2. What happened here? Oh, there. We're on board with Pete Sampson, and it looked like the sergeant slowed up there, or else he would have lost his car. And around when Hughes just didn't have time to react and just ran right into the back of him. Kind of tough when you got 15 cars on the grid and can't get through that dog leg. I couldn't imagine what we had if we had the full field here. So luckily for that. There's Sheila Reynolds. Reynolds had a bad something on her car, so a little bit of a mechanical problem as we lost our feed to the car, but oh, here she goes. She's leaving the pits now, but whatever the problem may be, it's fixed. But tough break for him as the rest of the field came into pit, but she left with essentially the rest of the field. Here comes Mark Elias to take the green flag as Elias didn't get a good start at all. Charlotte Boardman got a great start there. And here comes Hogan Dundee. He's trying to work down low. That car didn't see any preseason testing, and Mad Max Goose is towards the back, so good run for Dundee. And he's trying to work on the preferred line on the inside with Sheila Reynolds. That car clearly isn't up to speed, so he goes even lower. Mark Elias, though, got a good run out of the corners, so good run. There's Bobby Newman in the pack. Here they go through the dog leg here. And that'll spread out the field a bit. It looked like Magenta Nelson Andrew and Pete Sampson got slowed up there. Here's the battle for second between, or battle for third rather, between Charlotte Boardman and Dylan Andrew in the 92 car. Of course, her teammates a lap down. Here's the Tom McCormick car in the very controversial aerodynamic Inglesby flashback. Losing some ground to the 2 Ford Falcons, but once again, Magenta Nelson Andrew gets a bit squirrely there. Magenta Nelson Andrew really has had a tough time adjusting, it seems, to this type of racing. Clearly, she has never been over 200 miles an hour, and they're topping out at about 215 around here, so... tough break. She's now stuck behind Mad Max Goose, and Bobby Newman's trying her outside. There's a good side of the Bobby Newman car, the 58, teammate to the 38 of Raymond Hughes, who was involved in the first wreck. Tough break for that team. Hopefully Bobby Newman can make up for it. Mad Max Goose has been off the pace today, but he says they have a very, that team seemed to be very good with fuel economy in practice today, so we might see something interesting with that. Here, Dylan Andrew gets by Tom McCormick for second place, but or rather is holding off McCormick for second. They're trying to keep up with Mark Elias, who kind of broke away from the field there. Good job for Elias. Now it looks like McCormick's going to try the inside of Dylan Andrew in the 92 car. There goes the 12 right by him, and now it's Tom McCormick's turn to try and chase down his teammate. You got to wonder if that car really is legal, if these two cars are really legal, as now McCormick is making a move on Elias. And the only reason why I think the 92's up there is because of the draft, because quite honestly, I think if he didn't have the draft, there would be no chance. Even if these cars were dead alone, it's quite clear that the two Osborne cars are way quicker than everybody else. Debris caution will come out after endless cycling of those two drivers. This is about lap 35 as the whole field will come down to pit road. And I know it seems like a big jump from the start of the race from lap 2 to lap 35 in that little bit of time, but really nothing was happening. And rest of the field comes down to pit road. The debris caution was for maybe, I think, a pop can somebody threw on the track. Not quite sure, but I think the fans were getting kind of bored, and so were the official body. On the start, some craziness happened when a little bit of an overzealous move by Dylan Andrew turned Charlotte Boardman down into the Hogan Dundee car, and they're not done wrecking, but look at Magenta Nelson Andrew way on the apron making some moves. There's no yellow line rule here, and there's no real yellow line at the track, unlike some other leagues. And Magenta Nelson Andrews sees the possible wreck happening. She just goes to the inside and gains quite a few spots. However, there'd be a caution. The next lap is, whoa, hard hit for Dylan Andrew into the inside wall with Riley Suzuka, and it looked like Raymond Hughes, but oh, that was a nasty hit for Dylan Andrew there, and very, very hard hit. Luckily, I think he'd walk away from this hit. Spent a little bit of time in the infield care center, maybe complaining of some pains, but he hit that wall at 206 miles an hour, and that was a driver's side impact at a really awkward angle, so good thing he walked away from that. Riley, I don't know really what Raymond Hughes was doing there, because quite honestly, when you're a lap down, you shouldn't be blocking like that. Here's another view of it. Why was he blocking like that? Equally the same for Riley Suzuka. Why are you going to race the lap car that hard? Mad Max Goose did not pit under this caution and shows so much for the fuel mileage, but that's going to bunch everybody up because Mad Max Goose isn't very fast and didn't get a good start. Bobby Newman would sneak to the inside looking for the lead as the two Osborne cars are held up on the right side. Oh, looks like Hogan Dundee almost got turned there by Pete Sampson. You can see that right there. Pete Sampson reels that one, or Hogan Dundee reels that one back in. That could have been a near disaster situation there for Hogan Dundee in the 86 car. Teammate to Mad Max Goose. The Osborne cars would be falling back and would get held up by Charlotte Boardman, who kind of slid wide there. And Mark Elias back there got held up, and Tom McCormick definitely got held up. Here are the two leaders of Bobby Newman and Pete Sampson. They are battling for the lead not ferociously, but viciously. And Good run for these two drivers because quite clearly we thought this would be an Osborne. Oh! Magenta Nelson Andrew almost turned the Charlotte Boardman car. That could have been another serious incident because that could have taken out one of the Ossports, who, you got to admit, have been the fastest cars out here, even though there is a legality question on their car. Pete Sampson will get by Bobby Newman for the lead. This is about lap 62 out of 111. And they are now coming up on the slow Sheila Reynolds car. And here comes the Ossport of Tom McCormick by Bobby Newman. Good run for him. See, that just shows how fast they are. Pete Sampson must have slid wide there because McCormick had to back off, or else he would have ran right into the back of the 40. Kind of an interesting number style on the side of that 40 car. The number is towards the rear of the car rather than the center, unlike some of these other cars out here. Interesting thing about the Ossport cars is that they've got some cars in an American league, not PCC Cup Series, but under the same paint scheme, so it shows a lot for originality. Oh, Pete Sampson slows up. He makes contact with Sheila Reynolds, and oh no, Bobby Newman in the wall! From third place, Bobby Newman hard in the wall. Oh, that's gotta suck for him. Oh, he just got it out of the way just in time so the pace car would avoid him. Oh man, we're on board right now with the Tom McCormick car, and Bobby Newman Pete Sampson just bottled up there and round with Bobby Newman straight into the wall. Not a good day for that team because both their cars look promising in final practice for the 38 and the 58 teams. Tough break for them because those cars look quick. Mad Max Goose would stay out again. Apparently the fuel mileage on that car is really good because he keeps staying out as the 12 and the 26 and the rest of the field came into the pit lane. But you can see that car is definitely not on pace with the leaders. So, as the Ossport cars are looking for any way around him, but it looks like the very slow Pete Clovis car, who's already a lap down, could be, oh man, here we go, Durango Witten into the back of Sergeant Robert Kaplan, back of the Sarge. No caution for that, but Durango Witten hasn't had a very good day in the Corvette. Here we are with Mad Max Goose, as that car is right now leading because McCormick got held up by the 47 car. 47 has not been fast all weekend, and it looks like Pete Sampson, involved in that last wreck, is still up there. He got a little bit of damage replacement, but he got a little bit loose there, and Durango Witten would fall out of the race in his Corvette, so tough break for him. But now it looks like the 12 of Tom McCormick would get around the outside of Mad Max Goose, and Max Goose would just continue to fall back now. If Jeremy Clovis is passing you, that's pretty bad because Jeremy Clovis is about 3 mile an hour normally off the pace. In single car runs, he was about 3 mile an hour off the pace. Here's the pack from Charlotte Boardman's perspective, and there goes Max Goose falling straight through the field. But Max Goose might have a problem with that car, not sure, but I don't know how much tire wear affects you at a super speedway, but seems to. Now we're on board with Mark Elias, who's running in the back as he's going to get by Max Goose. Max Goose is falling like a rock right now, or a dead goose. Maybe somebody, forget it. And now his teammate Hogan Dundee's up there battling with the Ossport Brigade. There's Pete Sampson. He's stuck behind Sheila Reynolds, but with the field spread out, that could help him out of it because now Pete Sampson can use Sheila Reynolds and hopefully not get held up. Max Goose is into the pits. This is scheduled. He looked like he was out coming down pit road. I mean, he was slow on pit road. Pit road speed here is about 65 mile an hour. Or maybe, no, 55 mile an hour. Pardon that mistake. After that, the two Ossport cars, Mark Elias would just use drafting to just get by Pete Sampson. And Mark Elias was running third at the time. And now it's the two Ossport cars as Pete Sampson watches them go off into the distance. Like I said earlier, those cars do have a questionable legality, and it does look like those cars are way more powerful. Here's Mad Max Goose and Magenta Nelson Andrew. Magenta has had a very difficult time. Oh, Magenta almost turns Max Goose coming out of the pit road. Max Goose hasn't had a good run, but Magenta Nelson Andrew, I don't know what's in her. That's almost like the second or third car she's almost turned today. We're coming now towards the closing stages of the race now, and Mark Elias, it looks like it's a two-car battle between the two Ossport cars. And Mark Elias and Tom McCormick. And, Elias, or McCormick almost turned Bobby Newman there. Newman's going a lap down. That's going to put Mark Elias right up to him, but good job by McCormick to get by. Elias is going to use that to the example. Riley Suzuka is now battling with Sheila Reynolds. They're both a lap down, but there's not a lot of cars on the lead lap anyway because of pit stops. Because of the pit stop cycle under caution, there isn't a lot of cars left on the lead lap, and the off-sport cars are just so fast. Now this is Tom McCormick with 2 to go, and he would get held up by Sergeant Robert Kaplan. Kaplan has been arguably the slowest car out there. I'm surprised they let that car out there. White flag now. It looks like Tom McCormick. Mark Elias has to catch him, but not going to be enough. Tom McCormick wins the round of Canberra in a interesting fashion. Full results and points are available at Earnhardt Fan Racing.